Let's just talk about all the pitchers next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Wednesday, April 13th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris Towers. That's right, he's back on FBT in 5. Let's talk about Jesus Luzardo, who had a career-high 12 strikeouts against the Angels on Tuesday. Chris, what did you see in the start from Jesus Luzardo?
He looked phenomenal, which is to be expected when you strike out 12 over 5 innings. This was arguably the best we've seen him look. I mean, at least in the last couple of years, maybe ever at the major league level. His velocity was up almost 2 miles per hour on his fastball. He threw his curveball 50% of the time. He got a ton of swings and misses on that pitch. 12 of the 18 came on his curveball. I do think he kind of throws like multiple versions of a curveball because he has a fairly wide velocity band. He'll throw some in the low 80s, some in the high 80s. So, it's possible that like you see 50% curveball usage and you think, well, that might not be sustainable, but it might be more like 35% slower curve, 15% harder curve, something like that. But either way, he looked awesome. It felt a little like watching Carlos Rodon last season, where it felt like you were watching a really, really talented pitcher who's dealt with injuries just click. And, high 90s velocity from the left side, tons of swings and misses. I'm not saying he's going to have a Carlos Rodon-esque stretch because there are still things he needs to work on. He still got hit somewhat hard when he did get hit today. Only threw a couple of changeups, which when you're as effective as he was with just the fastball curveball, I don't know how much it matters that he only threw 2 changeups, but he'll probably need to throw more of them moving forward. He won't have his stuff quite as well all year, but this was an incredibly, incredibly encouraging start from Jesus Luzardo, and it's enough for me to already move him into the top 50 at starting pitcher.
He's 77% rostered, so if he's available anywhere, even the shallowest leagues, 10, 12 teams, Jesus Luzardo is must add across the board. Alex Cobb was also masterful in his debut for the Giants. 5 innings, 2 runs, 10 strikeouts. And Chris, the velocity was up across the board. We all liked Alex Cobb coming into the season. If this is what we can expect, then I think the breakout is on tap.
Yeah, we liked Alex Cobb a lot as a sleeper coming into the season before reports came out towards the end of spring training that his velocity was up. And that's what we saw. His average fastball was up 1.8 miles per hour to 94.5 miles per hour. That is very, very solid for a right-handed pitcher, especially one who clearly has a much better pitch than the fastball. With Alex Cobb, the splitter is where everything starts. It's the thing. It's this weird splitter changeup that has just been, when right, and he rediscovered it last season, it's been a huge swing and miss pitch that also generates a ton of weak contact. So the fact that was really effective, he threw that about 45% of the time. And then he's got the fastball with a couple of ticks of velocity. If he can sustain 94, 95 miles per hour, it just makes the whole profile play up. So yeah, Alex Cobb, another guy. I moved him right into the top 50 range. I was really high on him coming in. I've got him in a lot of teams. And yeah, if he's available anywhere, he should be rostered.
The next 2 I'm going to put together here, Chris, they are rostered between 70 and 75% of CBS leagues. Tylor Megill, very strong outing against the Phillies, 5 1/3 shutout with 5 strikeouts. And Matt Brash, the rookie for the Mariners, making his first career start, 5 1/3, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. What did you see from these 2, and who do you prefer, Megill or Brash?
Megill over Brash, although I do like Brash quite a bit. His knuckle curve / slider, it's not clear if they're separate pitches or if he just throws them in different velocity bands like Lizardo does. But either way, he got, I think, all of his swings and misses on those 2 pitches. His fastball also was up in the 99 miles per hour range, though, so that can be an effective pitch for him. He got hit hard. That's the one concern. A bunch of batted balls over 95 miles per hour. I think his average exit velocity allowed was like 93 miles per hour. So that's a bit of a concern, but it's the first start of Matt Brash's career, so I'm not too concerned there. But I do think Tylor Megill, because what we saw from him last season, his ERA wasn't great. It was in the mid 4s, but his xERA was like 3.7. And now he's throwing, 2-3 miles per hour harder so far this season. It's made all of his pitches more effective. And I just think, given that we've seen him be effective, with a 93, 95 mile per hour fastball, it just makes it that much more enticing when he's 96 to 99. And so I do think Tylor Megill, I have him ranked behind Jesus Luzardo. I have him ranked behind Alex Cobb, but above Matt Brash. But I think all four of these guys, Megill, Lizardo, and Cobb especially, should be rostered in all formats. And Brash, anything 12 teams or deeper, Matt Brash probably needs to be rostered too.
Chris, 30 seconds or less. What is your worryometer level on Shane Bieber? The velocity and spin rates were way down once again on Tuesday.
I think it's got to be 6 or 7 because this isn't just the first 2 starts of this season, which you might be able to write off, but it was velocity and the spin rate both down in those 2 abbreviated starts towards the end of last season when he came back from that shoulder issue. He hasn't gotten back to that even early 2021, his velocity wasn't quite where it had been in 2020. So already we were starting to see that. The fact that it's not there, the fact that the spin rate and the curveball and the slider were both down, the fact that he didn't get many swings and misses, only 8 in this start. I think Shane Bieber is someone that you can try to sell right now and see if you can get name brand value from him because I don't think he's going to return a second round investment.
For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.